Hi guys, I'm just gonna do a reading for the general energies for everybody. I hope you're doing well. Just gonna shuffle some decks. Okay. Right. Okay. There's just a lot of cards flying around, so I just want to make sure I have a good shuffle first instead of just shuffling a couple times. Oops. Okay. The Hermit, the Magician, and the Star. Those are pretty strong cards. Alright, maybe I'll leave this deck alone. Got these three. I'm going to do the Mother piece. That was the mini Rider-Waite. Okay. Okay. Can't do the attack. Crystal done. Hope you're having a good Saturday. I feel like some people are frustrated today. I mean, obviously everybody wants an answer with the US election if that's on your mind. So I feel like this is like that type of feeling of a general annoyance towards wanting an answer. But it could be like about other things too. It could be like, you know, if you're thinking about the direction of your life, and it would be helpful to have some things come to light and to help you make that decision. There's like a lot of focus on getting that now. It's good. It means you care about yourself, about your life, and your time is precious to you. So good. So, you know, like they say, like anger is actually like a positive. You know, it's a step above like feeling sad about something. Like at least with anger, you're motivated, but it's not like the highest version of expression. But it's at least not being in despair. so maybe there's just that feeling of like, okay, I want to get moving on my life, like in the direction I want, and I'm tired of like spending my time on stupid stuff or like things that don't serve me. And you know, it's pretty clear that the present administration is not positive. So it's reasonable for everybody to want to change. I mean, ideally, everybody takes part in running social programs and like making, like, you don't just like leave everything to one guy or one lady to like solve your whole life. Like it should just be like a world of people active in their community, even if it's just down to like your block. You're taking an interest in that block, like how are they doing? Like if everybody did that, things would be pretty cool. And then having a government that doesn't stop communities from running the programs they feel they need would be the, you know, something good. All right, so just gonna finish shuffling. Yeah, so even if becoming active in the community is new to you, it's like maybe you've got some good ideas that other people haven't thought of. You could really transform things. even with like a once a week 1 hour event, you know, and if like a bunch of other people also had cool events too that didn't take up too much of their time, collectively it would like transform your neighborhood and maybe draw a lot of positive interest. Okay, just gonna shuffle a little bit more. Okay. Because like instead of always feeling stuck in that critic mindset, it's more fun to be creative. And it's more positive because there's a growth, and because criticism is like a narrowing. Whereas creativity is open and expansive and healthy. So once you figure out what the issue is, you can get creative with it instead of just like complaining. Okay. All right, do sexual magic, and then one ascended masters, and then they're good. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't read that question right now, but I will read it in a second. I don't really like. I only started wearing glasses when I was, when iPhones were invented. I guess it ruined my vision. So like around 40 or something, that's when I started wearing glasses. And I rebelliously don't want to put them on because I'm not accustomed. Okay. Okay, one more. Oh my god, that's too many. Well, just one little card for us. Thank you. All right. I can take a question. It might take me like 10 or 15 minutes to answer it because I'll be like doing the reading and casually, like if an answer drops in for you, if I get a picture, I'll tell you. Okay. So the crystal cards we have are manifestation, again, which is great. Life purpose, we were just talking about that. And empowerment. So where do we get our power from, right? Like we don't get power over other people. And if we do, like it doesn't turn out well. So it's not recommended. Power is like in the universe, and when we connect with it, we're part of that power, and it can inspire us and inform us and guide us, and that's why it's worth taking the time to meditate in the sense of like listening to yourself. Like some people might have like a very rigorous program of meditation for you to like achieve some kind of like badge, some kind of level that they value, or like maybe if you're paying somebody for learning how to meditate or donating money, like they want you to do it their way. But it's a very unique to you process of just listening and noting and like taking an interest in the things that are in your space and kind of going through your mind and stuff. And like a librarian, you can kind of like chronicle that stuff in a way that's like non-judgmental. And then once you feel you have like a lot of information, maybe like you can write it down in your diary or you just like remember, then it can kind of paint this, like fill in this sort of jigsaw puzzle of another way of seeing things, which is interesting, but you have to do it in a way that's like non-judgmental and not getting all stuck in your emotions like, oh my god, why did I even think that? It's like you can't, it doesn't work well when you include fear into the picture. Okay, so when we're in that state of empowerment, we're able to manifest our life purpose. So that's the theme today. And then we have the lion and the deer from the Rumi deck. Grab a look at this thing. I guess there's no question written down, so I'm off the hook for answering it. So I'm fine with that. Okay. Because we got information coming right now through other means. Okay. When you enter the garden of the heart, you become fragrant like the rose. When you fly towards heaven, you become graceful like the angel. If you get burned like oil, you become brilliant. When you become thin like hair in your name, your joy leads the way. You'll be the kingdom and the king. You'll be the paradise and the guardian angel. You'll be infidelity and you'll be faith. You'll be the lion and you'll be the deer. Well, okay. I guess like for me, I'm not gonna like read the further explanation of that. But basically, with your, you know how we're all like brave and vulnerable at the same time, but then our vulnerability we can also like see as wisdom, or like knowing our limitations or our capacities is also a strength, because we know how far to take something or like how far not to take something, you know. And to also remember that like our mind functions differently than our heart mind, and that like to tap into that kind of bravery that is bigger than us, that includes like source energy, and or if you want to call it God, like to have that greater strength, greater vision, and everything like that makes us like the lion and the deer, because it makes us both comfortable in our fragility and our strength, because it's like unconditionally loving energy and wise. Yeah, then it's like allowing us to be like balanced and at peace and like standing out and like being ourselves and stuff. Like I've noticed like going through art school and everything else, like up to my master's degree, that like making friends with your vulnerability and your limitations is actually what's interesting in your work. And to not like fear that, but to engage with it and yeah, and sort of some brilliance, like they're talking about in the poem, like the oil gets burned and it glows with light, like what, you know, seemed painful or boring or lifeless, you know, can come to light in this heart space where you're connected with something bigger than you. And it causes you to act differently. Like if you make decisions from the heart, they're not going to be fear-based. And love is like, love isn't just like codependence and romance. It's like an incredible strength that makes you fearless. Because you're like acknowledging connection, you're acknowledging like how like kind of perfect you are within yourself, and that you wish that kind of perfection on others. And it's like a really like admirable state of mind. It's not just like chocolates and roses and you know, texting too much and stuff. Right, so then we have the Knight of Cups, and we have also the Knight of Swords. We had these guys yesterday, I think. And we had the Emperor, but in a different deck. So it's interesting, we still have these energies, and we also have like the devil card here. So I'll just let you look at the cards for a second, see what you want to look at there. Okay. Okay, so I feel like there's some kind of balance being going on between like you in the world and seeing it in this kind of like commercial sort of black and white way of like, you know, you work and then you get money and then you survive, whatever. But then there's this whole other part of you that needs to be nurtured. We all have it, like, you know, our spiritual side, our creative side, our desire to be like romantic and brave and go, you know, have freedom within the world to like roam and like do cool stuff and you know, admire nature and everything else. So I feel like it could be like you're either receiving or presenting an offer of love, or you're just deciding like, I love this part of me that wants to like experience something greater. I'm embracing that and I'm offering, like I'm in communion kind of with the world and in this thing while still kind of taking care of business, which just sort of feels like this area here to me for some reason. It just seems more like digital, like, you know, those squares where you read the square and it gives you the business information. Like, it reminds me of that. So that's really sweet. It's really sweet. Like, you're ready for love. And you're like, you know, maybe you're a little bit guarded still, but you're on the move and you want it to happen. So you're like entering this domain where beautiful things can flow. This is nice. And then we have the Knight of Swords. Let's kind of look at this. I feel like there's the notion of like a couple coming up where like they really enjoy being together, like physically. And it was like kind of a simple relationship, like no commitment, I guess. And now they're realizing like this relationship, this chemistry is unlike anything else and it has great value. And they want to make a point of saying like, actually, I value that. And they're coming in like quickly to say that. It might seem abrupt or out of the blue because you thought things were kind of dead, like here. And yeah, and you know, maybe it's the type of person that you kind of like thought you were done with. It's like, you know, if they came off as a player or like too negative or whatever. Nonetheless, they're back. And so like I'm sort of getting the feeling like maybe it's okay to entertain, like hear them out and, you know, within your boundaries, sort of sit with them and their energy and like see what that's all about. Like how to, you know, because someone can, it's like, you know, talk is cheap or whatever. Like it's good to see if someone is consistent over, you know, period of days or even within the one date. Like, are they consistent or do they like backtrack? And because I don't know, because they have like narcissistic qualities and they just wanted like a little hit of attention. Like you have to sort of see like, well, what is it? Do you really value it and this is good for me too? Or you just come in to tell me like you appreciate me because I'm cooler than everybody else? Like what is it? So it might seem kind of abrupt and like forceful, but I still feel like there could be something of value in there. And, you know, it's kind of like not everybody's exactly the same as you, like, and if they were, would that be fun? I don't know. So like there's a certain amount of sense of humor you have to have about life and people and how they communicate, and it's like, don't shoot the messenger. Like, what are they really trying to say? Like, if I can get over how awkwardly they said it, or how it doesn't completely line up with where I'm at, like right now. Because if you've been in separation, you've been like in different energies that are, foreign to each other. So he's coming, like I'm saying he, but like the masculine energy is like rushing back from whatever situations he's been doing back to this place that he left like barren, but he's bringing in all this like spiritual insight and kind of overflowing joy, like, and he doesn't know exactly how he's going to fix the problem, but there's a desire to do that, and some spiritual energy like behind it to help him. So that's positive if you can remain calm and open somewhat. Okay, then we have the Emperor. Yeah, the Emperor. So I kind of feel like the ego of the masculine energy is kind of like the flash is gone. Like maybe, gone are the days when people like stopped in their tracks and were like, oh my god, like, you're the best, or it's like maybe it's a little bit like old news now, and he feels like he's revisiting like old stomping grounds where he's like seen all the, I'm gonna say in this case, like all the women in his kingdom. And he's a bit like, okay, like what next, kind of thing. So it's a bit of a check-in for the ego of the masculine energy, but I'm like, yeah, I'm powerful, I can have whatever I want, whoever I want, but which path am I going to go down now? Because there's like 2 rivers, two mountains to climb, and you can't be in 2 places at once unless you're meditating. But like, let's say he's human and he wants to take a path in life, he has to choose one. So now he's like kind of a little bit pissed off that it's like I have to choose, But it looks like he's kind of, his feet are kind of saying like, I want this. So there's part of him that like knows the answer deep inside. And yeah, you're going to give up on something of equal-ish value, perhaps. But spirit is guiding you in a certain direction that will like be the deciding factor. And okay, normally like when the devil card appears, everyone's like, oh no, but whatever, it's like a state of mind feeling trapped, right? But if you're able to like be yourself, be comfortable despite like whatever's kind of going on in the world, whatever thoughts are occurring to you or being given to you by others that like seem negative or pushy or whatever, it's still possible for you to just decide like, I'm not going to feel trapped here, I'm just going to lift this loose chain off my neck. And if this just going to look at like their relationship on this, like how I feel when I look at it. Yeah, so like the masculine character in this case is like looking away at like, what else can I be doing? Like I'm out of here. And the feminine character here is like looking down and still under the pressure of like doubt and fear and like manipulative kind of actions to try to keep the masculine like chained to her. But she also like feels bad about it too, because it's like she's not in her strength, she's not authentic, like she feels trapped too, but she doesn't really know another way right now. So this could be like a karmic relationship he's been in for a long time and kind of got used to. And it's like, well, this is my life. Like, we're together, we have intimacy, we're a partnership, and we have this sort of level of fear and control also that has become kind of cozy. Like you're sharing a couch with this figure in your daily life, But now he's just like, I don't know, like in this case, it's like she's, attractive, interesting, whatever. But like, do I really want to keep going down that road, or do I want to choose another road? So he's kind of like looking, saying like, I want to choose another path, but it's going to be spiritually led, and you're going to be turning away from this sort of comfort zone of fear and like bad habits, addictions, whatever, to then like turn around and kind of be a bit of a hero, to go like, no, I'm doing something else, I'm off, and I'm ready to offer love. Either like I'm just ready, or someone who you want to offer it to. But just feeling ready is like a really good feeling. It's like, it's almost like you're already in love by feeling ready, because it's like your heart's open, you're psyched, you're prepared. So it's kind of a good zone to be in, even if someone isn't like right in your face at the moment. All right, and then we got a lot of cards here, I guess. Positive changes, so that like echoes what we were just talking about, like that, I'm out of here, I'm gonna make an inspired choice between two possibilities, and I'm on my way, so there's obviously with that change of direction, like there's going to be positive changes. This is very good. And I guess like this is the Ascended Masters deck, so these are people who lived great lives, who like did a lot for people, and you can call upon to ask for their counsel, guidance, like positive energy to make positive changes if you're feeling kind of weak. So I guess you could like Google Parvati and see what how she may help. Okay. Yeah, and I get a little of that energy when I mention her. So I think that if you want to do that, it would be helpful. Okay. So then we have the High Priestess, and we have the Knave of Pentacles. I'll just let you look at them while I think about these cards for a second, so you don't have to just see me staring at them. Just the cartoons make me laugh sometimes. Right. So I feel like the masculine in this case is a bit shy to reveal who his true object of love is to people. So he's kind of like hiding behind her, but still enjoying her. So it might be the case that you're like an unusual couple, or there might be some aspect of, sorry, I changed from blue nail polish to red into this one. It wasn't, there was a fight going on between the two colors, but whatever. So, okay. Yeah, so you might be an unusual couple, and there might be some people who are not like high-fiving the masculine for choosing you for whatever reason, but he so much wants to meet and engage with you and like love you and spoil you and stuff like that. Possibly get you in a state where he feels comfortable that you would succumb to him, because like maybe he doesn't have the confidence that he could actually seduce you. So maybe that's why the one. So there might be actually like a, to be totally like, following that actual picture. Maybe there will be an offer to like have a drink. And he kind of has a plan, but he's also, I feel, sincere too. But there, there is this aspect of like hiding a little bit as a couple. But I feel that because of the other cards where it's like decided to turn away from something that wasn't working to, finally make a choice and sit in his power and make that decision and go for it, in love and in communication, that even if there was this awkwardness about like the couple, he's gonna just move forward anyway and just be like, this is what I like deal with it. Like in a way, he's like pushing her forward to people saying like, this is who I want. It's a very strong gesture. Okay. Then we have the High Priestess. So I feel like the feminine energy has spent a lot of like me time just trying to gather her strength, enjoy things, like figure out what she's good at, like connect with animals and nature, connect with like your sort of sense of fertility, whether it's like creativity or actual fertility. And that by doing all of that work and kind of like glowing up, like she has the keys to like a relationship, because it makes her more attractive and it makes her more in command of what she wants to create, which is something beautiful. And so there's like a bit of mystery around her, because it's like, oh, she's not like running around doing like a bunch of wrongish stuff out of fear. This is something she enjoys, the feminine energy, to go into these different disciplines of her life and gather strength and wisdom on a very personal level, because like you can go to a lecture and learn about spirituality, but like there's nothing more empowering than developing that yourself within yourself. Because like I could ask someone for a psychic reading and it might be like helpful, but it won't be my path. Like it's about like really big important life decisions. You really have to go from your own intuition. It's interesting to get maybe some reflections from other people, but they're inevitably going to be like not exactly on your frequency. And because like everyone has their own filter of how to like express something, it'll just kind of hit you like a curveball. It's like you got the ball, but it was like came at you in a weird way. So I really highly recommend developing your own intuition and trust with that, because that's ultimately the best guidance. Okay. But if you look at people's advice, if they're strongly intuitive and good people, they can kind of point in a general direction for you if you're like considering too many, and then that can be helpful, and then you fine tune it yourself if it resonates with you, that advice. So then we have the Hermit, the Magician, and the Star. Like really nice cards. Yeah, so like in the case of the feminine, and the masculine, now like you've gone within, you're getting your strength and your wisdom from your heart, from inside of you, from source. You're not getting it from this like sort of barren outside world, because there's really nothing, there's no real direction and information that you wanted from that. So you went in and you found, you were able to like manifest or realize this light of wisdom from your own efforts. and that's going to like light your way through like sort of a dark period, because like if you decide to take a different path or you change things up, people generally speaking don't like it when you change things up or you start acting different or you change relationships or whatever. And in order to get through that kind of negative, like sort of dark forest of like, if you imagine the trees as people trying to psych you out, you need to carry this like lantern to get through it. It's like, I know I'm on the right path because I did that inner work and I had the insight. It's going to take me through this sort of this darkness and getting past these voices of dissent to what I want, because now I've decided like I'm going to take control and bring like a heaven to earth for myself. Like I have all the tools to do that, and I've done the healing necessary. And you're comfortable with your authenticity now, and you've realized you needed time to like yourself to balance and treat yourself well in order that you can be more effective in the world. Like if, let's say this was like the Five of Pentacles or something, this figure could be feeling left out of like what somebody else is making, but instead like this, they took the time to like nurture themselves, like maybe, you know, eat more healthy, more exercise, whatever, like more time, like less internet, whatever, just to get real and cleanse and like perceive like beautiful wisdom that can come in from doing all that, and then deciding like, okay, I'm on the move now with that, and I'm gonna make beautiful stuff happen from that connection, from that wisdom, from that place of being like refreshed. And you're okay with, you know, shining brightly with your direction, and there might be some aspect of you becoming like well known for your inspired actions. All right. It's like a really feeling of calm after I said that. That was pretty intense. That's cool. Well, maybe that means it's like really coming in. Then we have the Knight of Pentacles. The King of Wands. And we have the Six of Swords. All right, I'm just gonna look at these guys for a sec. So I kind of feel like the masculine energy in this case is, you know, realizing all this stuff like abundance, whether it's like material gain, you know, going over these fertile and abundant like lands that have prospered, that belong to him. And when I say him, it's like, you know, anybody, any gender can have the masculine energy, but this is like, it's, yeah. So I'm going to say him when I refer to that. I feel like Spirit is watching closely, like, don't F this up. Because I feel like in the past, the masculine has gone down these various paths of like these antlers that are kind of going here and there. And there's this like look of concern on the stag. Like, I'm watching you, and so in a way, like they say, like this spirituality, like they can't help you unless you ask for their help, or like make sure you nurture some awareness of like having spirit guides and like good positive people, like this, on the other side, like helping you and wanting to help. And like there's like different skills that souls have, but it's like important to only ask like the like source or God, like that the highest is like the best. But if you feel like it's of a good energy, um, it's a good indication. You never want to operate out of fear. Like what I'm saying is, it's like it's basically possible to connect with any kind of spirit, and like they're not all evolved. Like yeah, they're all maybe on the other side, but they're not all helpful and just some like Joker kind of energy. And if you just like stay calm and kind of navigate through it and like go, like if that doesn't feel helpful, I'm going to go to something that feels unconditionally loving and wise. It's better intuition to go on. So I kind of feel like the masculine feels like they're very accomplished and they're moving forward, but they could get stuck in their pride a little bit and lose sight of like what spirit is trying to tell them and guide them. Yet they feel like they're doing that, like they feel like they're following their guidance and in their strength and stuff, but like you can always fine tune it a little bit more. Because otherwise spirit wouldn't be so like on your case about like be careful here, so it's like proceed with caution, like with grace and respect and everything else in order to get what you want, to really be that person that is really truly bringing something forward. Because we have like the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles, all like it's really like a strong offering, like coming forward to create this like better relationship, which is like very cool. Then we have also the King of Wands, so he's like very passionate, like very very passionate, and like this whole page is like on fire, and he's like ready to go, and like like if this guy showed up at your door, he means business. Like he's very passionate. Yep. It maybe works out even to, I guess there's like a lot of physical strength here in this card. If not, there's that sort of determination that seems like it works out. Seems like it has like a kind of 8-pack determination in this card. like look how ripped the lion is, for instance. So okay, I'm just gonna look at it for one more second here. Yeah, so I feel like in the past, this masculine character was a bit unglamorous or like too casual with you. And you might remember them as being like the guy in the Gap t-shirt who like didn't put in an effort or but he's really like on his game now and wants to present himself in a much stronger way, like to be more appealing, to be more clear about the type of passion he wants. And that's been motivating him to like move forward in all these like different ways, like emotionally, communication, and offering something. And it might be like it might have been like frustratingly long waiting for this masculine energy to return, but and you're like, weren't you listening to spirit? Like, come on. Like, why did it take so long? But it's happening, so that's kind of cool. And it's happening with like a great deal of passion, which is like nice. Okay, and then we have the Six of Swords. Just gonna have a look. Yeah, so I feel like maybe this masculine has had like broken some hearts, let's say. But there's there was like a lot of wisdom learned from that, and now he's at the place where he's like offering something real. Like that's happened. That's been a bit of a theme. I mean, I have been married in the past, but like it happened to me a few times where I would date someone, we'd, you know, it was nice, whatever, but then like we would break up, and it would be like they didn't have the vision for us or whatever, and so it was like heartbreaking. But then they'd immediately turn around and like marry someone. So it was like whatever we went through kind of prepared them, made them strong enough to like get focused and just be like, okay, I'm doing this, you know. And so that's the energy. I feel like they've broken some hearts, and now they're like, I want this rose, you know. I'm going for it. And some people in the background, like these faces on the swords. I know there's like an exact word for that, the handle. I can't think of it right now. But who are like surprised, and maybe like these past people whose hearts they broke like are surprised. Anyway, I feel like this community kind of feeling of like people going like, what? Like they're actually gonna marry someone now? Like I never thought it would happen because they were like a player, or they were, you know, a master of the heartbreak. But like, you know, it does happen where it can happen where masculines actually decide like, I want something beautiful. I don't want to be at war anymore. I want to experience like peace and creativity, and it comes from like my heart being strong enough. It's not necessarily like, you know, there's a lot to be said for readiness, and yeah, so they're going to come forward and be like, this is what I want. Like this, you know, I'm pushing this out into the public. Like I want this type of woman, and I'm doing it, and I'm coming forward passionately, you know, making like a real offer. I'm offering my heart. I'm being clear, you know, I'm in my power, and I've decided to turn away from what doesn't serve me. Because I've done some healing, I've looked inward, and now I want to bring my heaven to earth with someone who's like maybe a bit different than other people I was with, like someone who is into nurturing their own power and isn't afraid of taking some time alone to discover themselves in the world and create like beautiful things from this wisdom. You know, she's the high priestess. Then we have Four of Cups. Yeah, so you're like leaving one thing to go to another. And here's the Devil card again. So it's like, yeah, you were stuck in this system of like hierarchy, like reputation, ego, friends, and connections that like you were chained to in your life. You know, you had it all worked out. You had, you know, you knew where you're living, like what you're gonna do every day. Like these are my people at work. Like you felt like the boss of your world, but like you're seeing now that like this wasn't like a proper structure, and you're like leaving that for something else, and there's a certain amount of vulnerability, almost like walking away with nothing to get to this like other situation. And you're now ready to like work hard, make like diligent long-term efforts to have a solid relationship that is like publicly known. So that's like really cool. It's really like focused relationship energy, choosing someone cool who's like the high priestess. You're going with your intuition, you're seeing the errors of your ways like before, you know, you're in your strength, moving forward. I guess this is really like a reading for the masculine energy. And you're like coming forward with like, okay, this is like the woman I love. Like she's strong and interesting. Yeah, maybe she's different and it's a bit in your face to everybody, but it's like, this is what I like. And I'm passionately going forward with it because I'm done breaking hearts and like using up all my all my energy and communicating too much, like arguing, all that stuff, because I want something beautiful and it's like right here. I feel like it's close at hand, just like that rose is close to the hand there. Yeah. So I don't see any questions that are like typed out, so, and I'm finished the reading. So I thank you very much for joining me. I really wish you guys a great weekend. And you can contact me with the information I have in the box below. And yeah. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.